When we last left CKY the band, the crew had just independently released Volume 1, and it grew into a massive success thanks to not just the collaborative talents of Deron, Jess, and Chad, but also the promotion of their music being on MTV and the Jackass projects.
I'm Deron Miller, lead guitar vocals.
Hey, I'm Chad from Ryan Bruni.
Oh, Ryan Bruni.
I'm Chad Ginsburg. I play drums or bass. Wait, I'm Ryan Bruni.
Yeah, that's wrong. I'm in charge of stick breaking and cymbal cracking, I guess.
And talking into the back of the mic.
Yeah, you're talking to the back of the mic. Did you guys hear that?
In February of 2000, the band decided to cut ways with Ryan Bruni, as it was believed that according to Last.fm, the band was on the 1999 Warped Tour and played under Volcom, but during this, Ryan Bruni, the live bassist, walked out just before CKY's performance after an argument between himself and the band. For 4 months after this, Chad would take over as the band's temporary bass player once again. In the summer of 2001, the band signed with Volcom Entertainment for the remaster release of Volume 1. However, issues with the clothing brand emerged when Volcom requested the band to change not only their album cover featuring politician Bud Dwyer, but also their name as well. This request led to the creation of the iconic album cover featuring Chad flipping his guitar. However, there was another issue that was happening as they were suggesting that the band would go by the name Camp. The band was completely opposed to this idea and promptly reverted back to the CKY moniker. By the time the following Warped Tour began, CKY would hire a new bassist to replace Ryan.
It is Vern Zaborowski, and he is the, I will say, original bassist for CKY, but I don't know if it's original at this point. There was a guy, Ryan, before you, then there were some guys after you and all that, but the bassist from CKY, Vern.
How's it going, Chris?
Yeah, what's up, brother?
I'm doing real good, Chris.
Vern was known as their most permanent bassist to date, serving the band for about 4 years. Vern met Chad at a bar called Kenny's in Pennsylvania.
And she was like, hey, weird question. Do you want to go on the Warped Tour in 2 weeks? I said, what?
Yeah.
With who? She's like, oh, this band CKY. It's like this guy I date that I don't tell anybody about.
Yeah.
They need a bass player. So kind of met Chad at, I was playing with this other band, don't remember the name of it, with my friend Lance, and at this bar called Kenny's Bar, one of my favorite bars in Pennsylvania when we were growing up. And Chad came out, and he saw me play. He's like, "You're the best thing in that thing. You want to play?" And like, I was like, well, I like Ween, I like weed, and I like Mr. Bungle. And he's like, yeah, I like all those things too.
This led Chad to extend an invitation for Vern to join the band. However, Deron was much more reluctant against Vern joining, due simply to his looks. It wasn't until a coincidental show involving the two bands that Vern would actually get the thumbs up by Deron after calling him out, giving themselves enough time by July of 2000 to perform at that year's Warped Tour.
Have to, yeah. I made the singer of Green Day, Billy, punch me in the face. Because he was like, dude, what do I have to do to be on a CKY video? And I was like, shit, I just thought of something real quick. I was like, all right, I'll watch your set from the side of the stage, and then I'll be like, yeah, you guys don't have it anymore or whatever, and then just fucking wail me. And he did. It fucking hurt.
Billy Joel?
Yeah, no, Billy Joe Armstrong.
Yeah, he's a little dude too.
Oh yeah, he's got a good punch.
Pack a good punch in.
Yeah, my ear was ringing for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And he's like shaking, and he was like, oh dude, I haven't hit anyone since 7th grade. It was great. You did great.
And that following August, they would release a new EP entitled Disengage the Simulator. Limited to only 2,000 copies, the album cover features a still of Angela Baker, portrayed by Felicia Rose from the film Sleepaway Camp, one of Deron Miller's favorite horror movies. In May of 2001, after the worldwide fame of Volume 1, the band found themselves outgrowing the small disorganized label of Volcom, and got themselves signed to Island Records. The band appreciated Island for giving the band much more creative control, and even the president of the label took time to meet up with the band when they got signed. This came with the reprint of Volume 1 and 2, and a CKY official website. Around July of 2001, the band was able to tour with Deftones during their back-to-school/post-White Pony tour, where they toured with From Zero and Godsmack. It was mentioned by Vern that the band did not get along with the members of Godsmack, who took the industry rather seriously and disregarded the band as the supporting act. Jess, during an interview, criticized Sully for being all about himself. Quoting Jess, he says, "One time we were walking around backstage and someone put a CKY sticker on the Godsmack laminate over the picture of Sully's face. And he just told everyone that can't be happening. My face can't be covered on that laminate," he said. He made whoever had a sticker on their laminate take it off. Other issues were mentioned in a 2001 article with Hip Online. It was mentioned that Fred Durst was actually at one of these events backstage and ignored the band altogether. But after being signed by this new label, it gave them the perfect opportunity to release their second album. Recording started in November of 2001 and was finalized in January of 2002. And on September 24th, 2002, the band would officially release this next record, Infiltrate Destroy Rebuild, after delays from the label. Infiltrate Destroy Rebuild was a 10-track hard rock album with its lead singles being Flesh Into Gear and Attached at the Hip. However, it is safe to say that the band could have used any of their tracks to represent this album. The album was recorded at Audio Source in Honolulu, as well as Studio 4 in Philly and 4th Street Recording and Westlake Audio in Santa Monica. Chad provided a lot to the record's mixing, noticeably with the inclusion of more synthesizers. At least 5 tracks were intended, but ultimately removed from the album. These include Dropped and Double Crossed, Testing, Woe Is Me, Just Quit, and Step to CKY. And much like the re-release of Volume 1, this album was also on an enhanced CD, which gave PC users the ability to look at additional content, including music videos and photos. Note, this is where I'll be diving into my perspective on the album's lyrics. This is all just a subjective take. Escape from Hellview was the continuation of the Hellview trilogy, building off the established lawless land of Hellview. The town of a vacancy that any strangers that pass through are subject to rules that don't apply. Once in Hellview, you become trapped with the only way to leave by setting the blood of its inhabitants free. Escape from Hellview continues this narrative by describing the dark, ominous atmosphere where the characters are just trying to escape. These characters are trapped in this danger through the night, with the mentioning of strange whispers and an idea that they won't escape until their blood is set free. And while the protagonist is horrified by his attempts to escape, he begins to love the thrill and the intensity of living in Hellview. Originally, this track was the third in the Hellview trilogy, with the first track actually going back to their oil project. Thanks for the Ride was featured on Gold Tape, and it mentioned a similar journey of a character that visits Hellview. The protagonist is determined to find a way to take back their dreams and turn them into gold, with a reoccurring theme of being taken back to another planet. All 3 tracks in the trilogy displayed a desire for escapism. However, Thanks for a Ride introduced a much more cosmic, otherworldly element that felt out of place from the other 2 tracks, which possibly led to this track being uncanon to the actual trilogy. Flesh Into Gear was originally titled Sinking Fast. The lyrics expressed a sense of disconnection and a feeling troubled by the human machine. The chorus highlights the desire to be understood and emphasizes the fear of becoming someone unwanted, and acknowledges the impact of that insecurity. The second verse dives into themes of betrayal, containment, and internal struggles. I also want to mention that this track features a really good synth solo by Chad. I love it. Sink Into the Underground conveyed a sense of suffocation and an inability to express oneself. The lyrics suggest that the speaker is feeling an impending struggle with a fear of sinking into the underground, battling his own inner turmoil, isolation, and inner demons. Attached at the Hip kind of explored an eerie atmosphere with someone standing nearby breathing down another's neck. I believe the lyrics to be more about the torturing of one into two, reflecting a mutilizing transformation given to the speaker, with the idea of attached to the hip meaning a sense of Stockholm Syndrome, with the speaker being attached to their perpetrator. Frenetic Amnesic is about the disoriented and chaotic state of mind by an individual waking up from a blackout, sensing feelings of confusion and paranoia and amnesia, reflecting the paranoia and loss of identity one feels in the midst of such a thing. Shock and Terror is about the speaker's attachment with the such, expressing curiosity to the idea if anyone feels similar to that, relying on the feeling in order to stay sane by expressing the playful disregard for convention. Plastic Plan, originally titled No Such Thing, was based off of a riff written by Deron over 10 years ago, but hadn't made a feature on the record quite yet. The lyrics expressed a sense of rejection to social norms that just don't align with the speaker's values. And it also mentions a desire to give the world a different perspective and to alienate yourself from these social norms. With the chorus of "We live within the plastic plan" suggesting that artificiality and conformity as us in a society, encouraging us to have more of a sense of individuality. Inhumane Creation Station kind of builds off of this by depicting a dystopian and dehumanizing scenario, where individuals are treated as parts on an assembly line. The chorus questions the ethnical implications of those and urges the listeners to consider the consequences of this, describing a world where individuals are manufactured under the control of the assembly line. Sporadic Movement characterizes the speakers themselves as such, describing a sense of inner turmoil and unpredictability, describing that the chemicals in the brain are being too loud. A metaphorical swift injection is given to contain the spaz, suggesting an attempt to control or manage that unpredictability. The lyrics are complete in terms of symbolism and focus on that transformation. Lastly, Close Yet Far reflects isolation and feelings of being misunderstood despite the speaker's efforts. I honestly feel Deron Miller personally in the lyrics of this track. It seems like the track reflects the value of solitude and disconnection, with the lines "Don't take me under your wing, I don't need a hand," and of course Close Yet Far. There's also an expression of the speaker acknowledging that life hasn't turned out the way he envisioned, and there's a solid mix of independence, isolation, and a yearning for a connection. So anyway, those were my initial feelings on the album. Words cannot describe the impact this album has had on not just the band, but just everything. This album has so many unique riffs and sounds, the beautiful dark lyrics, and a complete reflection of the collaborative talent of the band. If you haven't listened to this album cover to cover, you probably already have. From September to October 2002, CKY would tour the Infiltrate Destroy Rebuild tour throughout the United States, briefly touring with pop rock band All American Rejects for a handful of these dates, and were also a part of the Tony Hawk's Boom Boom Huck Jam tour. But their biggest break had to have been the Chinese Democracy tour with Guns N' Roses. The band was personally selected by Axl Rose for the tour around 3 days before the tour began. And while this tour was met with controversy, the band admired the opportunity. During an interview with MTV News, Jess stated, "All of a sudden, Axl picked us. We had to cancel 2 sold-out shows in California and turn full rubber all the way to Vancouver. We were at least 2,000 miles out of the way when we got the call. We've been driving for 3 days, but this is an awesome tour, so it's worth driving all that way." I'm not a big Guns N' Roses guy, so I do apologize if I get anything wrong. The first major Guns N' Roses tour in over 9 years was in honor of the band's new record. However, during this period, Axl Rose was the only original member of the band left. And mind, Chinese Democracy did not come out until 2008. In addition, the band was receiving criticism for late start times, technical issues, Axl Rose's erratic behavior, and show cancellations. And 2 of those cancellations were CKY shows, with the first one being in Vancouver on November 7th.
And we're playing Madison Square Garden tomorrow night, opening for Guns N' Roses. Yeah, baby.
It's just cool to be a part of a band that has a lot of diehard fans.
Canada in Toronto. And wearing a funny hat. It's Thanksgiving here in Toronto. We're fucking rocking out here in Canada, opening up for Guns N' Roses tomorrow. In Canada. I've been to Canada once, and that was with Guns N' Roses when they didn't show up at the riot.
Axl Rose's flight was delayed in Los Angeles, but it was not announced until 90 minutes before Guns N' Roses were set to play that they weren't going to be able to make it. This led to the arena management to decide to cancel the show before the doors even opened. This news came without the knowledge of the riot that had just broken out outside. 15,000 fans were left confused, annoyed, and some were infuriated. The remaining members of Guns N' Roses realized that Axl was going to be bummed when he found out. The members of CKY found out rather quickly and was able to make it to their tour bus. However, this didn't stop a mob from trying to attack them while they were in the bus, thinking that it was the Guns N' Roses tour bus. And everything that followed, a riot was called, people were brutalized, and lawsuits were filed. And as a result, about 20 people were arrested for crimes in relation to this riot. Axl Rose was left pissed. However, the tour did continue all the way through November until December 6, 2002, at the First Union Center in Philadelphia, when the second riot would be declared.
We're partying a little bit, and then like word gets back like, hey, Axl's not gonna come to the show tonight. And I was like, what? He's not coming? Fuck that. Cause like I really wanted to see them and you guys open for him and do that. And I'm flipping out yelling, what do you mean Axl's not coming? And everyone's like, dude, shut up. Like, and I was like,
it was reported that Mixmaster Mike did an hour-long set as management was waiting for Guns N' Roses to arrive. And this wasn't just Axl Rose, this was the whole band. Inevitably, the show was canceled at 11 p.m., hours after doors. The band was unable to make the small jump from Madison Square Garden to Philadelphia, with a rumor going around that Axl Rose would rather be watching a basketball game in a hotel room than play for Philly.
and like I just remember being such a loudmouth, and then they were like, okay, we got to get you guys out of here.
Yeah,
and they
the production company actually quit. They're like, you guys might want to get out of here. We quit. The band hasn't been here. They're still in New York from last night at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, and you guys played the show because who was it? Mixmaster
was still spinning after we actually played.
Yeah, so you guys played, then they're doing that, and the word comes that Axl's not showing up.
Oh my God, it's like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes into Mike's set, and Mike's awesome. And people in Philly are just, boo!
With the crowd left pissed off and feeling led on, some began to throw food and drinks onto the stage. Binocular cases and ceiling tiles were reported to be tossed, folding chairs were being thrown, and fires were attempted but failed to be started.
And then they got us into I think it was a limo or something. They got us out the back into a spot to get away because they were like, this riot was going nuts and they had to get us out of there.
And it's funny, we just went back to Westchester.
Yeah.
However, this died out rather quickly, with limited to no arrests being reported. The damage was estimated by the promoter as $200,000 worth, mentioning the worst of the damage being someone tossing a trash can through a Toyota Camry's windshield. It's noteworthy that despite these incidents, both Jess and Chad harbor no negative feelings towards Axl or the band. Additionally, this didn't really hinder CKY's momentum, and they continued with a brief Out on the Noose Again tour in 2003, joining forces with the rock band Memento. However, in late March, after a show in Chicago, Chad tripped while trying to scale a wall to talk to a fan. He fell about 30 feet and ended up breaking his tailbone. The tour was left to be postponed until May, but during this time, Metallica expressed interest in the band, and James Hetfield personally contacted Deron to request that they open for Metallica at the Fillmore on May 18th, 2003. It was also around this time that Kerrang released a rare DVD featuring the music of CKY mixed with skate and stunt footage. During this period, the band would release their first 7-inch vinyl, a 2-song titled Hellview, published by Island Records on March 18th, 2003.
Here we are, Hellfest 2003. Glad to see you, and I'm glad you're glad to see me. And Deron Miller.
Yeah! And me.
And Vern Zaborowski. CKY here at Hellfest. Come out. Hellfest is the shit. Fuck. Piss.
Right around July, the band would decide to take a break and prepare themselves for a long-awaited show called Life from Hellview, taking place on Halloween in Philadelphia. This show was filmed and recorded for a live DVD release, finally debuted in November of 2003. However, CKY would see their biggest piece of content released yet in November of 2003, the Infiltrate Destroy Rebuild Video Album. Ambitiously, this DVD features over 5 hours of CKY content, and this includes not only music videos for Disengage the Simulator and 96 Quite Bitter Beings, but also a music video for every single track on Infiltrate Destroy Rebuild. This was accompanied with a commentary with the band, covering every single song, a huge chunk of live photos, and most importantly, certain versions of the DVD featured CKY Chopped and Sliced, a 3-hour compilation of CKY live footage throughout their IDR tour. And while so far I've described the lyrics of each track in my own words, it's now time to dig a little bit deeper into the music videos that came with these tracks. Starting with Escape from Hellview. Escape from Hellview brought Deron's love for horror movies to life, transforming the music video into a slasher film, with Deron portraying the assailant. The scene unfolds with two couples enjoying a fire in a cornfield, featuring Jen Ravel and her friend Anne-Marie, which they called Ammo, and her brothers. The eerie ambience is accentuated by a bull skull behind the band's performance. Deron, donning a ski mask, emerges and pursues them, eliminating two members of the group. One of the individuals flees, leaving his girlfriend behind, and Deron simply takes them out one by one. The video captures the essence of typical quirky CKY content, with the band satisfied with their interpretation of Hellview, reflecting on the dead corn and the frigid temperatures. Notably, the use of unconventional materials like sawdust, Polish links, and toilet paper were used to compose the mannequin flesh that was in the video. However, the production took a rather dangerous turn when, for a particular scene, Chad was tasked with hanging from a noose, aligning with the song's theme.
So there's Chad going up by this teeny little harness. You know, when I say to this guy, a special effects man that costs $3,000 and he's gonna do all these great gags, I said to him, it looks like Chad's gonna hurt himself up on that thing. He goes, oh, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. And I looked, I said, is that an actual noose around his neck? He goes, oh, don't worry about it, it's not tied to anything. I was like, dude, have you ever heard of anything getting caught on anything? Fucking cut the noose, like cut a safety latch.
Unfortunately, this did not go as planned. Chad only had about 10 seconds of control before needing to descend. Uncomfortable with the stunt, Chad was very hesitant, but Bam and Franz was eager to capture more footage.
Just so we could get some airflow going. And he was telling us how sketchy it was, and I'm like, I know it's sketchy, but 10 seconds just isn't good enough. You're gonna have to go up for a second attempt. He's like, man, I don't know if I want to do that. I'm like, well, if you want a good video, you gotta go back up, because 10 seconds isn't good enough.
This would lead to a grim sight of Chad convulsing unconsciously. While the specific details remain unclear, one speculation for Chad's loss of consciousness could be related to carotid sinus stimulation. The carotid sinus, located within the carotid artery, contains sensory receptors called baroreceptors, which react to pressure changes in the body. Reaction could have been triggered during Chad's attempt at doing the guitar flip, potentially explaining why he suddenly fainted and convulsed. This could eventually lead to abnormal heart rhythm, inadequate blood flow to the brain, and inevitable death. But this analysis is just a speculative take from a non-medical professional. I think it's important for me to at least explain why this isn't a good idea for anyone to do by saying more than just don't do it. I only stated one of the many potential outcomes that could happen in something like this. Like, you could actually die from this. The fact that Chad survived was short of a miracle, regardless if the noose was altered or not. Despite that though, this action does not change my stance on the video. I still think it was a very successful creative take on the horror genre.
We just think he's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, we thought it was a great performance. we were like, all right, way to go, Chad. We thought he was.
Flesh into Gear marked a significant milestone as the first music video shot for Infiltrate Destroy Rebuild. It also represents the crew's first-time experience renting a studio. Fans may recognize this video from CKY3, but this version also includes additional shots and provides a more comprehensive visual experience. The crew utilized a rented studio which featured a simple white background, cleverly incorporating it for shots featuring a camouflaged half pipe. Raab, Deco, Rake, and their friend Grand were invited to join in, with Deco taking the opportunity to design the castle featured in CKY3. An important note is to mention that the iconic top-down shot of the band on the back of CKY3 was actually conceived during this, when Bam noticed a catwalk above and envisioned the captivating shot. However, the production for this wasn't without its challenges. Chad in specific faced a really tough day, injuring his hand while attaching a firework to his guitar, and accidentally smashing the instrument during his signature guitar flip, while he was ranting that he invented the guitar flip. The music video encapsulates the essence of the band's independent approach and their creative, spontaneous attitude. The rough edges and unexpected moments contribute to its rad and memorable quality. Sink Into the Underground was recorded in West Philly with a beautiful skyline in the background. Originally, the idea was to be on top of the Westchester parking garage, but the owner didn't want anything to do with Bam. The elevated setting posed a challenge, particularly for Jess, who confronted his fear of heights during the shoot.
Me like away from the edge. I'm a little bit scared of heights. And of course those assholes just set me up right on the edge. So it looks like if a gust of wind came, I just go like right off the building.
As well as Phil, who got stuck on the ladder on the way up to the shoot. Filmed within a tight schedule during the golden hour shortly after sunset, the video served as an allegory for the deteriorating relationship depicted within. The particular concept suggested by Brandon Novak delves into the parallel narrative of living with heroin addiction. This direction influenced Deron, Bam, and Franz to shape the music video accordingly. They did this by having skate legend Chris Markovich deliver an outstanding performance, portraying as one of the characters in the narrative. The music video unfolds as a model turns to a life of addiction, leading her boyfriend, played by Chris, to confront her betrayal. The narrative captures Susan's struggle with addiction, and when Chris surprises her with roses on a date, he discovers her in an overdose, abruptly concluding the video. The team successfully navigated the hurdles, resulting in a compelling video that effectively captures the intensity and emotion of the narrative. And they listened to Brandon Novak for once.
Big after party at my house. So Don Vito shows up with all this Vicodin for his leg that he claims has been hurt for years. G shows up looking like full-blown Morrissey. Like, what's up with G's Morrissey look? What are you doing there?
Attached to the Hip was filmed in a rundown, demolished brewery situated in North Philly. It created a gritty and atmospheric backdrop for the music video. The production utilized two distinct sets, the second of which was located in Bam's basement.
It's just my basement. You can see the TV in the background. We can't just leave the TV off. That'll look stupid. So we put static and it gave it a nice element to it.
Jess was the sole sober member during the recording in Philadelphia. This sobriety stemmed from not being a part of a flight delay caused by a hurricane warning, creating a brief panic among the crew while traveling from California.
The pilot pretty much made us think we were going to run out of fuel and crash to our death.
Yeah.
But,
what is this exact quote? What is it that he said?
we have about 35 minutes left of flying.
That is what he said, and then I was like 45 minutes.
This discomfort led them to drink to the point of being cut off. In the Philadelphia segments, the video featured an unexpected participant. Some painter who Franz mentions just shows up to paint the landscape. Seizing the opportunity, the crew utilized a discarded can of spray paint to tag CKY across the rubble, adding a nice little touch to the visuals. The second part of the music video unfolded in Bam's basement, where the crew rented giant fans to propel newspapers into the faces of the band members, just adding a quirky, dynamic element. The combination of unconventional settings and creative elements sort of add a little bit of depth to the video's aesthetic. It made it a really memorable piece in the CKY collection. Frenetic Amnesic began as a serious project but inevitably took a comedic turn. The song kicks off with Chad calling out the record label.
Can I ask you why labels are always screwing bands up? Who are you talking to? The label.
Satirizing the music industry. The narrative unfolds as the band crashes their van into a tree, resulting in their untimely demise. This transformation is depicted visually as the members are turned into ghosts, pulling their instruments from the wreck to begin to perform. Deron, the sole survivor, is shown being stretchered through a makeshift hospital environment, attended by doctors Deco, Raab, and Matt Cole. They attempted to resuscitate him. The production faced challenges here, with unfavorable weather affecting the shoot, and the van crashing into the tree not going as planned and almost getting someone hurt.
He's like, you want me to talk? We needed a hospital real bad, and yeah, we got a hospital for you. No way, Don Vito and Phil, you guys came together, so what's this hospital called? The Chichester Gymnasium. Like, oh, what? A gymnasium? That's haggard.
The van's design, credited to April and Matt Cole, added a very unique touch to the video. I wanted to at least show you guys that. However, while editing, Bam felt the footage narrative was incomplete with what they originally had in mind. He salvaged the footage by deciding to inject humor, and a last-minute decision was made to give Deco the center stage, reacting to the loss of Deron.
And I tried to sit there and act as dead as I possibly could, but it just wasn't happening. I mean, when he tries to resuscitate me pounding on my chest but hitting his hand, what is that gonna do?
He did so well, it was hard for Raab and Deron to hold their composure during it. This improv successfully transformed the initially unusable serious footage into a comedic work of art, showcasing the band's ability to adapt and turn challenges into content.
What a disaster. What a disaster.
So Shock and Terror took a decidedly more erotic turn, featuring actress Misty Monday, and standing out as one of the team's final music videos. At this stage, generating fresh ideas became much more challenging for the crew. Originally conceived as a concept similar to Escape from Hellview, it quickly became apparent that this approach felt repetitive.
So all of a sudden, Deron just starts directing the video.
Alright, well, where are we? You get up on the table, and here you go. What?
So Deron stepped in a more directorial role, leveraging Misty's talent for eroticism and introducing a horror element to breathe new life into the project. Now, to enhance the eerie atmosphere, the music video was shot at a haunted mansion, a location secured through Franz's connections, and this mansion provided the perfect backdrop, incorporating all the essential horror elements from the video's concept. Remarkably, it even included a chamber equipped for producing shock effects, adding an extra layer of intensity to the overall production. Deron's innovative direction and the atmospheric setting contributed to making Shock and Terror a unique and memorable addition to the band's repertoire.
Well done, Deron.
Plastic Plan was conceived as a satirical take on pop songs, blending humor with a retro aesthetic reminiscent of the 70s and 80s. The video displays the band against a green screen backdrop, and features vintage television and Atari-esque effects playing behind them. This holds a very special place for Jess, evidently revealed in the director's commentary.
This is another video that was my idea. The original idea was that
this DVD wouldn't be done for another month if it wasn't for me driving everything around.
Well, everybody's so eager to take credit for things. No one would want to buy this DVD if I wasn't wearing that awesome outfit.
Outfit?
That's true. That's
not an outfit.
That outfit was my idea.
Shut up.
Despite the video's charm, the passage of time has brought attention to the aspects that might be perceived as shortcomings. The green screen effect seems a little cheesy, and other digital elements resembling straightforward audio waveforms may appear rather amateurish to contemporary viewers. It's important to consider, however, that these perceived flaws are contextual and rooted in the technological constraints of the time this video came out, and not a reason to skip the video altogether. This music video, recorded in an extensive session spanning an entire day on set, stands as a testament to CKY's willingness to experiment with different styles and aesthetics. Plastic Plan is a fun song.
Then, you know, go home and don't be a CKY fan. Turn this shit off right now. Now!
Inhuman Creation Station is undoubtedly the most captivating and enduring piece among all the videos on this. It stands out as a timeless masterpiece. The music video unfolds entirely in stop motion, set within a dystopian industrial complex where clones labor under an authoritarian boss to meet production quotas. Those who oppose the system are left to face their own demise. As the workforce becomes overwhelmed, failing to meet the quota, poetic justice prevails as the boss is finally thrown into the very machine he enforced. The entire animation was brought to life under the direction of special effects and technical wizard Dave Deneen.
It's basically your character on the shoot.
Yes, but I'm much nicer.
Dave, along with a dedicated team of 5, spent an intense month and a half in his cramped apartment, working 15-hour days to translate Deron's vision of the song into this stunning visual narrative. The level of creativity, integrity, and attention to detail surpasses my ability to fully articulate it. Dave drew his inspiration from the 1989 German short film Balance, as well as the films 1984 and City of Lost Children. This retro-futuristic machinescape aesthetic was enriched by innovative techniques, such as incorporating actual sheep brains and creating dolls with movable eyes and limbs exclusively for this video. Personally, I am fascinated by this, considering it a straight-up masterpiece that delivers such a powerful message with an impactful interpretation, and could be appreciated by even a broader audience. Inhuman Creation Station stands out as a testament to the collaborative effort and artistic vision that can elevate music videos to the level of cinematic art.
It could have looked like Gumby for all I knew, you know?
Sporadic Movement came to life in a truly spontaneous fashion, sparked by an improvised idea to have the band perform inside of a box truck driven by Margera, all while cruising down Route 1. As the truck traveled along the highway, Bam would just open the door, allowing the band to swiftly capture footage for the video. This unconventional shoot also served as a documentation of their less than thrilling journey to Skatefest in Ohio, an event that they really weren't particularly excited about.
Yeah, I'm not in the shot because I wasn't too thrilled about the idea of
Darren slept through the whole
that Ohio
idea.
We're not allowed to say what it is.
The video was a spur-of-the-moment venture, executed without official permission, but with remarkable speed and efficiency. Despite its off-the-cuff nature, the video was deemed a success. However, due to the spontaneous nature of the production, there isn't much more to elaborate on regarding its creation.
We would have had to close traffic, and we didn't close down the highway. We didn't ask anybody, we just did it. And if we got in trouble, then we got in trouble, you know, we'll go to jail.
But lastly, Close Yet Far serves as the concluding piece in the video album, presenting a tour video with a subtle nod to the mockumentary style of 1980s rock tour videos. This video encapsulates the official IDR tour, offering glimpses of the band performing the song live, infused with satirical shots such as Chad passionately gazing out the window.
Hey Bam, this is how lame every other band would make a video. They put a guy looking out the window missing home.
The video playfully mocks the conventions of traditional rock tour documentaries. The band effectively captures the emotional essence of wrapping up the tour, blending moments of live performances with reflective scenes. The video serves as a nostalgic remembrance of their adventure, acknowledging the highs and lows of life on the road, while also expressing anticipation for whatever comes next in the band's journey. It provides a fitting conclusion to the album, offering a glimpse into the behind the scenes, the camaraderie, and experiences that define a tour. This was a good DVD. CKY Chopped and Sliced provides an exhilarating 3-hour journey, immersing viewers in a captivating blend of live footage and exclusive content, showcasing the dynamic essence of the CKY band. On my initial viewing, the sheer volume of content was rather overwhelming, offering a unique glimpse into the band's live performances during this time. It felt like an extraordinary moment to experience a CKY set live, with the band's high-energy stage presence and appearances by the other members of the CKY crew, including the unforgettable sight of things like Deco rapping live. This DVD prominently features virtually every key member of the crew, including Bam, Raab, Rake, Phil, Ape, Jen, and Matt Cole, contributing to the overall richness of these shows. Noteworthy mentions extend to other crew members like Margera, who played a crucial role as a stage tech.
I got some ham. You got there. I got some roast beef.
Ensuring that stage divers didn't overstay their already overstayed welcome. Additionally, Joe Franz showcased his talent by documenting the tour and conducting interviews with fans. The advent of the internet proved instrumental in allowing CKY to cultivate a distinctive image and establish deeper connections with their fanbase. Primarily consisting of rebellious and angsty young skaters, CKY's core audience embraced the internet early on as a means of connecting with one another. By leveraging the internet, the band sidestepped traditional music industry gatekeepers like record labels, and directly shared their music with fans. Online forums and chat rooms served as virtual hangouts where the band engaged with their audience, delving into creative processes and shared interests. This interaction laid the foundation for the CKY Alliance, an informal network of individuals connected by their shared appreciation for the band.
20,000-page essay for weeks on CKY and how great they are and everything they do for their fans and the rest of the world and what they're doing for the industry. Everything about them is fucking amazing. I mean, talk to me next week and I'll have a 20,000-page essay written out. You can read that on camera. Is that a promise?
This loose affiliation proved a sense of identity and shared values among members, fostering a welcoming atmosphere for both new and devoted fans. While MTV and the CKY tapes played roles in accelerating CKY's success, the CKY Alliance played a crucial role in sustaining that momentum. Some dedicated fans went to great lengths to spread their love for CKY. One pair ordered IDR records with fake numbers to ensure that new fans could discover the shelved albums.
Why?
we promote CKY everywhere. We play their music at school. I make buttons, I make flyers, and I put them all over my school. We do all sorts of stuff to help the band out, to get album sales.
Really?
The Alliance is all about helping the band out, yeah.
Rooted in counterculture, the Alliance served as an outlet for those frustrated with society, uniting people through the powerful medium of music. This connection was vividly evident in CKY's live shows, characterized by wild energy, massive mosh pits, occasional slamming, frequent crowd surfing, and even stage diving. Amidst the enthusiasm, occasional skirmishes and fights would break out. Notably, one incident involved a fan dousing Rake and Deron in mustard, triggering an immediate and furious response from Rake.
He saw me, he was
I saw him jumping and I was like, let's go get
it. Dude, that was
His aggroed pursuit of the culprit transformed the entire pit into chaotic mustard mayhem, just illustrating how you don't mess with Rake's hatred of mustard.
We contain chemical waste in my work. I do exactly the same thing. Double containment. Normally it's double bag, foil wrap, and then it can be disposed of properly. What the hell is that? What's in there? My favorite shirt that some fucking fucker from New Jersey up.
CKY's distinctive dynamic is deeply rooted in the unique backgrounds and musical influences of each member, contributing to the band's individuality. Jess, with his love for rock and roll, brings a mellow, lighthearted attitude even in challenging situations.
I don't even think he listened to the record. I think he put on the first track for 30 seconds and put on the last track for 30 seconds, because that's all he mentions. Rapid fire guitar line, punchy, gritty drums, lyrics about suburban alienation.
Notably, Jess's carefree spirit once led to him missing the tour bus on a journey from San Francisco to Columbus.
Alright, well, keep up with us.
Well, don't do 100 fucking miles an hour.
Well, we gotta get home, man. Like, it sucks doing 55 the whole way.
Dude, I've been doing 85 the whole way.
You wanna well, let's fucking... It's 476. Let's do like 90 the whole way.
Jess's daredevil approach earned him a ticket for going 110 miles per hour, but his commitment to the band impressed the police officer, who even complimented the group, practically giving Jess a slap on the wrist. Deron, a devoted metalhead, channels his passion into powerful performances, adding a unique and authentic touch to CKY's shows. His vocal versatility allows him to sing various tracks in different tones, enriching the band's musical diversity.
Wish my grandma a happy 68th birthday. I love you, Grandma.
Despite moments of goofiness, Deron can be easily irked and is not afraid to express his opinions even when he is upset. Active on CKY chat forums, Deron's dedication to engaging fans was highlighted in the documentary. It was captured during a candid moment between him and Chad, as Chad called him out for responding to a fan online while there were others waiting outside to interact with him.
Time to put some pants on and sign some autographs. Let's go. Let's
Why
go.
are you out there?
I'm going now.
Let's see.
I will be going now as soon as I get my leather jacket. Talk to some real people who are outside who want to talk to you, Deron, lead singer Miller of the band.
But speaking of Chad, he's a die-hard punk and a G.G. Allin idolizer. He injects a wild and unpredictable element into CKY performances, projecting a loose cannon persona. Chad is known for his guitar flips, smashing instruments, and embracing a rebellious attitude. His ego is quick to react negatively to challenges, as demonstrated when a drunken fan likened CKY to glam rock or nu metal after a show.
That's not a lot.
Walk out with your cock out. That's what I always say.
Shut the fuck up. You know how sick of that I am? You know what? Listen, I'll tell you what.
You guys are either a new glam rock or a new metal.
Glam rock. Never heard CKY label called glam rock.
I don't know.
I thought it was the opposite of glam rock.
Jackass.
Yeah.
What's jackass?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that a bad word? Was I not supposed to say that?
What does that have to do with what we do? Did you see any stunts? Did you see any stunts in CKY? Then what the f*** are you talking jackass? Where do you make this shit up?
Chad's strong response to this included a confrontational and hostile attitude and underscored his commitment to CKY as a genre-defying entity, standing apart from the status quo of music at the time. Together, these three members contributed to CKY's unique identity, making the band a genre unto itself. The making of this DVD is filled with numerous entertaining moments that provide a behind-the-scene glimpse into CKY's world.
We're in Honolulu on Pensacola Street in Hawaii, and we're staying at the CKY Inn.
It was particularly intriguing to witness Chad's interactions with Merle Allen, who is Gigi Allen's brother. One unique challenge arose during the Tony Hawk Boom Boom Huck Jam tour in Salt Lake City, Utah, where explicit language was prohibited due to the presence of children.
Nobody can cuss on stage because there's a lot of little kids out there, and we're playing the Santa song. So Darren's gonna have to figure out some new lyrics here. He's gonna find out who's a weirdo.
Chad went against everyone's expectations and restrained himself from swearing, demonstrating adaptability, while Deron was actually the one who had a slip-up towards the end, dropping the F-bomb without realizing.
Darren said the F word at the very end.
You did? I had no idea I was saying it.
This incident underscored the band's ability to navigate unexpected situations while staying true to their raw and authentic style.
It's a lot different in that we're on a 20-foot stage far away from the crowd, but it's still cool. But usually where you play smaller clubs and like have, you know, people right there and kind of feed off the energy of the club, but here it's a little different, but it's still cool.
The audience is about a half a mile away and you can hear them, you know, screaming.
We just can't see them.
Just don't know what they're thinking or what they're doing.
Behind the scenes, CKY displayed genuine care for their audience, dedicating time after shows to connect, provide autographs, and party with fans.
Don't throw her out. Don't throw her out. Don't throw her out. Don't throw her out, dude. Don't throw her out. Don't throw her out. Don't throw her out. That's my sister. She didn't get thrown out.
However, the documentary also sheds light on the pervasive issue of alcoholism within the band, hinting at a potential future challenge for almost every member.
Yo, ego, foul musician. Fuck. Foul musician. The biggest piece of the world. I'm a tennis player. I want your mom.
Alcohol-related problems were a significant concern in CKY's performances, but it was only an undercurrent highlighted in this documentary. While alcohol is often considered a part of the culture of music and rock and roll, contributing to that fun and relaxation that enhances the show's experience, there isn't any acknowledgement of the potential long-term consequences of this. And during the documentary's timeline, this lifestyle didn't immediately impact the performance itself. However, Chris Raab emerged as one of the first members visibly affected by the toll of this party lifestyle. Let's end this episode off talking about the notorious Chris Raab no break story. So Chris Raab during this time confronted a challenging period exasperated by the filming of Haggard and the subsequent CKY performances. While striving to pursue a college education in business, he found himself grappling with a lack of interest and struggled to keep up, earning 3 Ds and an F, mirroring the academic challenges faced by his character in Haggard. Speaking of Haggard, the car acquired for the film, humorously dubbed the Raab himself shitmobile, presented a distinctive hurdle with its lack of brake pads.
Car for the movie. So when I got there, dude, it was like, it just had a big sign on the steering wheel that said no brakes. And then I noticed that the dashboard, like all the electrical wire was like taped with like masking tape. And I was like, what? That can't be good. Like, don't you need like electrical tape, you know? And like,
causing the rotors to grind on a thread. This meant that braking would take significantly longer to slow the car down. In a daring move to make it to a test on time, Raab opted to drive this problematic car to school. Realizing the severity of the situation, Ryan began spray painting the car, expressing disdain for truckers, in an attempt to discourage Raab from leaving. The intensity heightened as Raab was also tasked with delivering a kitten given away by Jen, adding another layer of complexity to the situation. Rain also topped this off with the realization of malfunctioning windshield wipers, and the dashboard caught on fire.
Oh, so like there's no headlights and there's no wipers and this. So I'm like, oh, I'll sit here. So I sat there like on the side of this highway thing,
until like the sun starts to come up. But I kept trying to like drive a little, and then too fucking dangerous. I was like doing the Ace Ventura, like with my head out the window, like because the rain was coming down.
Further delaying Raab's arrival to school and causing him to miss the test. Now faced with the task of returning to the film set, Raab decided to take the highway. At the worst possible moment, the brakes gave out while he was approaching a toll booth.
Like, oh, maybe that'll do it. And it just goes click, 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 click. And I'm just picking up speed. Like it did nothing. So I'm like, fuck, so I hit the emergency brake, nothing, like full, like compressed like that. And as I go around, it's like, it goes down this turn, like the exit there to.
So Raab slammed through the gate, declaring, "I'll be right back," and maneuvered the car to the side of the road using a guardrail to slow himself down. And a call to film facilitated the towing of the car back to Westchester. Raab demonstrated a genuine concern for his education by attempting to attend the test, yet his unwavering commitment to CKY shows conflicted and led to instances where he would attend a show, get drunk, and wake up in the tour bus with no means of getting home. This conflict was leading Raab down a tumultuous path, and this path would carry over as we enter the Viva La Bam days. The documentary mentions that Raab was 2 months sober from alcohol, initially a cause for celebration, but it soon became a potential trigger at these CKY shows. The unintentional glorification of Raab breaking his sobriety, coupled with constant attention and enabling, exasperated his issues. Instances of excessive intoxication, inappropriate behavior, and breaking his 2-month sobriety are presented without context, revealing the complexity of Raab's battle with addiction. In hindsight, this is obvious, but at the time, there wasn't enough awareness out there about the effects of partying every day, and sadly, Raab was so stubborn and youthfully ignorant, he would likely have denied any confrontation about his struggles during this period.
Drinking. It is a drug, but it's worth it. The most worth it thing ever. And hey, I'm an alcoholic. Hey, you might say that, but best thing ever.
In conclusion, CKY Chopped and Sliced stands as a content-rich tour documentary, offering a captivating insight into the band's lifestyle and adventures during one of the busiest periods in their careers. CKY shows were truly unique, characterized by their unpredictability of each performance, unexpected surprises, guest appearances, and variations in song renditions really do set them apart. Despite facing challenges and darker moments, the exposure to CKY's world remains both fascinating and revealing, and it's really remarkable to consider that a single 10-track record could be backed by such an abundance of content. Not having the opportunity to witness the band live during this period is regrettable. It truly marked a golden age of CKY. However, in the coming years, the band began to grapple with internal challenges as they approached the creation of their third record. Thanks for watching.